Well, hello, my beautiful Scorpios. How are you? Guess what? I was about 25 minutes into your video and then I realized my mic wasn't on. So we're going to do this again. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is with Mercury retrograde this time. And yes, I am going to have that problem probably during this video about speaking, which is really poignant because that has to do with what you're working on. So welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including tarot and astrology, to help you on your path. So my gorgeous ones, thank you so much for being so patient. I've been really busy. I have that special 30-minute tarot readings for $60 if you want to see me. I'm not going to take it off special until I get all these videos out. So it just seems to be going one more day and one more day and one more day. So if you want to see me, you can go to yourindigopath2.com. And I got this new tarot deck and I wanted to show you guys. If you haven't seen me on live, if you're not watching the dailies or on IG or on the community tab on YouTube, you're missing some stuff because I'm out there every day. So let's talk about you, Scorpio. Thank you for being patient with me. I really appreciate it. So we have this new moon in Aries. Then we have the full moon in your sign. Then we have Mercury running amok. I'm sorry, Mars running amok, going back and forth from Pluto to Saturn. We have Mercury that's been in retrograde. And yes, that has really caused me in my voice. But it's going to go direct this month. I think we have like 7 more days of it, or 6 more days. Then we have Saturn and Pluto going retrograde. So Saturn and Pluto in your 3rd house. If you look, Scorpio, your 3rd house, your 1st house, your 3rd house, your 5th house, and your 6th house are lit up. So you got some work you're doing in there. Then we have Venus going into, Saturn and Pluto are going to retrograde till mid-September. Then we have Venus going into Gemini. Venus is a great place to be in Gemini. So because then the air becomes like lighter and beautified and fun and sort of airy, but there's beauty around it and love, right? And so Chiron enters Aries. So Chiron is going to enter Aries for 7.5 years. So you will be working on that. And I have a video on Chiron and how Chiron sort of helps you transform, helps you grow. So I'll have the description in the box down below, or I'll have the link in the description box down below, or either on the side of this video. You might want to watch that. What I'm going to do is do a Chiron that goes into Aries, okay? Because it's going to behave very differently than it has in Pisces. It's going to light up that house. And then at the end we have Neptune. Neptune with the sun. So you're going to get this big, beautiful clarity. Things are going to come to pass where you're like, maybe something hasn't happened. And then when that, when Neptune comes and Neptune and the sun, you're like, whoa, I didn't realize that was going to happen. But that's what I've been working on. And it came bigger than I thought. Like that's kind of what's going to be going on with Neptune and the sun. And then, so Scorpio, where's this at and how's this going to affect you? So before I go over all the dates, I'm not going to go over every date for April, but I want to let you know. So your 1st house, this is you, Scorpio. Your 1st house has Jupiter and it is retrograde. Remember, retrogrades are about amending, endings, completions, reorganizing. So you could be ending stuff, you could be amending stuff, you could be changing stuff in your identity. And that's okay. This is about you discovering who you are and why you came here and how you want to be in this world, how you want to identify in this world, right? So you have that activated. That's been going around. You've been working really diligently at that. You have your 3rd house activated with Saturn, Mars, and Pluto. So Saturn, you guys know, is that planet that's way far off, and it's the planet. It's the planet. He's like, I don't know. He reminds me of the Hermit. He's like this really wise, soulful planet, and he's like, I have your hopes and dreams here. You just have to stretch and give me some work and tell me you're going to be responsible, and then I will bless you with these gifts to the physical reality. That's Saturn. Like Saturn wants you to keep your eye on the prize. Saturn wants you to move towards it, and then he will bless you. And oftentimes he blesses you with way more than you thought you were going to get. That's Saturn. Mars is that energy, that that drive, that passion, that vigor, right? And so he's been talking to Saturn. And Pluto is that transformation, taking your power back, understanding your boundaries, knowing who you are, right? That's Pluto. He will transform you into that. And so your third house, which is the house of communication, first of all, a lot of people, you may have found that you've been communicating a lot. And usually you don't do this. Like, you can do this in a group, or when you go into a party, or when you go into an event or something. Like, you can come out of your shell. You guys have really good character. Like, you're very charismatic that way. But there are times in your life where, when it's a real deep relationship, when it's something you care about, you sort of become, I don't think people get you this way, because you sort of become, it's your natural tendency to become secretive. But it's not secretive in a bad way. You just have this understanding that you don't need to vomit everything out. Like, you don't need to be, like, everybody doesn't need to know all your business, right? And there are some things that you don't really need to say all the time, because you understand that words and voice is vibration, right? You have this innate understanding. You may not voice it. I mean, you may not consciously know it, but you understand, like, I don't need to be saying everything, and they don't need to be knowing everything, right? And so oftentimes people around you think, well, she's just being secretive, or he's just being secretive, or that's just and it's not that. It's just that you're not a Gemini. You're not going to be like blah 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 blah. You can be when when you feel comfortable, but you don't have to be. So saying all of that is to say, Saturn being in there, Mars being in there, Pluto being in this third house of communication. And communication is done in all sorts of ways, whether it's your voice, whether it's writing, whether it's blogging, whether it's music, whether it's, it's all different ways that you can communicate to the world and to the people around you. And so it's in this house of Capricorn. Capricorn works diligently, and Capricorn does not fail, and Capricorn is methodical. And it's got Saturn. Saturn rules in Capricorn, right? It loves this house. It's open in this house. It grows in this house. It does well in this house. And so with all of that, with you discovering who you are, why you came, what you want to do, how you want to be identified, this could be about your boundaries and what you want to tell people and how you want to say it. And this house is being lit up for you to sort of come to understand that about yourself, right? And come to understand, okay, this is who I am. Now, how do I let the world know who I am, right? This is what this is about. But it transforms you. And you still got time. You got some understanding. And then you have this fifth house. So this fifth house is the house of creativity, this house of love affairs. And so it's got Pisces, which is this beautiful, beautiful, seeing all the possibilities that you can have. It's just this beautiful energy, right? And then you have Neptune in there. Neptune's in its ruler house. Saturn is ruling in its house. And so you have these very activated in here. And so this is about you creating something around you, like understanding that this isn't all there is. There is more. And what is that for me, right? And Neptune wants to dissolve. So does Pisces. It wants to dissolve your identity. It wants to dissolve everybody's identity and meld them all together, right? And so you can think of famous people or actors or a public figure of any kind, like entertainers. Like when they become famous, they have to sacrifice some of their identity, because people think they're one way, but they can't really show the other, and they don't have time to do all of that. They have to be what everybody wants them to be, but they do it for the bigger purpose. They do it because they understand pop culture is going to grow, and society is going to grow, and so they do these things out of sacrifice. And that's sort of Neptunian Piscean energy in your creation. But because your first house is lit up, you have this balancing of my self-identity and what I'm willing to give to the world. My self-identity and what I'm willing to give to the world, right? Chiron's been in there. So my self-identity and what I'm willing to give to the world. And then in here, you're deciding what is that? How am I going to do that? What am I going to do with that? Right. And then you have your sixth house. So your sixth house is lit up with, it's got Mercury retrograde in there. It's got the sun. It's got Uranus. Right. So you got some big planets that are being activated in some very, very poignant areas of your life. Right. And so the sixth house is about your daily routine, your health and well-being. Right. And for a long time, Scorpio, you didn't do well with your health and well-being. You were ignoring it because, I mean, you were handling some of it, but you were sort of ignoring the bigger picture because you were like, well, I got to do this. I got to do for others. I got to have this. And these are my family. And this is my friends. And this is what I do. And da 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 da. Like, right? And so you neglected yourself a bit. So with this house being lit up, with this house being activated for you, and that's not everybody. It kind of depends on the phase you're at. But with this house, you had some changes. You have some things coming. You know, maybe you changed your routine. Maybe you started a nutrition. Maybe you started working out. Maybe you just started to, you just decided to do better or like eat better. Or maybe you started taking vitamins. Like something having to do, or maybe, I mean, some of it could be cosmetic too, because Venus was in there. But maybe you did some cosmetic stuff, or it just kind of depends on you. But this is what this is about. This is about reorganizing your day to day. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out who I am. How am I going to voice this? What am I willing to give to the world and not give up all of myself? Because there's a balance in there. And then how am I going to incorporate that in my day to day life? And how am I going to do it in a way where it's not going to take too much from me? Right? So we have the sun and Uranus in here. Uranus, anything for me that's from the 23rd, 24th degree to the 30th degree of when the planets in any of that degree in a house, that's when the physical manifestations come about. That's when well, not just physical, but the manifestations come about, right? So like inspiration or epiphanies could come, but also physical stuff comes too, where situations come to you and they're resolved, or something happens where that's the 23rd, 24th to the 30th degree of when any planet goes into those degrees. That to me is bringing the manifestation of the growth you've done with that planet in that house. Okay, so because it's at the 28th degree and the sun's talking to it, the sun is conjunct right now. The sun likes to bring light, and Uranus is about shock and awe. Uranus wants to shock and awe you. It's like the tower. Uranus wants to shock and awe you so that it can bring liberation to you, so that you can be free, so that you understand you're free, so that you can take your power back, so that you can breathe again. That's what Uranus likes to do. So you could, in this house, when I say shock and awe, a lot of people get scared because, and I understand, because, you've been disappointed many times in your life. People have done many things to you. You've had to go through some horrible, horrible things. Trust me, I know, Scorpio. I know. We don't have to say it all, but I know. Trust me. So there's been some horrible things and some trauma and some things that you've had to do and code through and allow people to do, and, whatever. Your boundaries were crossed. So when I say shock and awe, you could get a little frightened because you're thinking, oh my God, can I handle this? Or what am I going to do? Or da 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 da. But shock and awe can be a good thing, because maybe shock and awe in this situation is about maybe somebody was around you as a friend or as a family member or as a relationship. And maybe, just maybe, you already made your stance with them. Like maybe you thought, oh, this person's just about themselves, or this is the way they usually do things, or this person is just about the money, or this person's just about taking, or this person, and so you made your understanding about that relationship with them, right? And so maybe they shock and awe you because maybe they do something to show you that you can really trust them, or that they love you, or that they really want to be around you, right? So remember, it doesn't have to be what you guys consider a bad thing. It's shock and awe to liberate you so that you can breathe again, so that you can feel peace, right? And so this is about that for you guys. It can be one way or the other. It kind of depends on your path and what you're calling into you, okay? So with the last thing, you have Venus in Taurus, and this is in your 7th house of relationships. So listen, Scorpio, this is what this is about. This is about you understanding who you are. This is what this last 6 months, this next 6 months, this is about understanding who you are, understanding what you want to do, understanding how you want to do it, understanding if you want somebody in your life and how that's going to work in a romantic relationship, or if you're in a romantic relationship, where is that going and how is that going to work, right? So that's what this is. This is about boundaries. This is what I'm allowing. This is not what I'm allowing. Maybe I need to let this person go as much as I love them, or as much as, I wanted to help them. Maybe I got to let them go because they no longer serve me and I no longer serve them. Like, maybe I'm holding them back. Maybe they're holding me back. Like, this is what you're kind of trying to figure out, Scorpio, which I'm very proud of you, because a lot of you have done a lot of work. So with Venus in here, Venus wants to bless you. Jupiter wants to bless you. So if you've been working on, this is what I'm willing to do. These are my boundaries. I'm being very, very clear about this. And I know who I am, and I'm understanding, remember, transformation, Pluto. I'm understanding who I am. I'm understanding what I want. I'm understanding this. Like, maybe somebody comes in. Maybe somebody comes in because that's Venus. Venus in your 7th house can bring love, can bring new relationships with friends, new relationships with money, new relationships with things, new relationships of all kind. We have relationships of all kind. But well, there's not a but. So new relationships of all kinds. So you could find yourself getting that contract, having that money come in, having some more abundance come in, having that new person come in, having that old person that decided and grew himself or herself and said, you know what, that was the best freaking thing that happened in my life, and I totally messed that up, and I got to go figure this out. Like, I got to go get that person. I got to go try to help that person, like, because we were meant to be together. Like, that could be happening too, because this is your boundaries. This is your relationships. Okay. So that comes in very different ways for many people, and it kind of depends on your path. But and I understand, because you have been through so much. Just remember, if you're coming to a place, well, let me say this. And I remember saying this week to somebody, if you've already mastered tragedy, and you already mastered trauma, and you already mastered what it's like for people to go over your boundaries, and you already mastered what it's like to take the high road, and you already mastered what it's like to be without, and you already mastered what it's like to be in desperate need, and you already mastered what it's like to have your heart crushed, what can happen is that you can keep calling that in, because that's the vibration you're used to, right? Because we are what we think what we become, and that's like, we call that into us, and then it becomes our physical reality. And if you've been doing and getting through that for so long, you've mastered it, then you can continue to bring it in, because that's the vibration you know. So let me give you a bigger picture. If you already mastered that, and you no longer want to do that, and you no longer need that in your life, because you feel like you've accomplished what you need to accomplish with knowing what it's like for people to go over your boundaries, and for you to be without, and for things to happen the way that they did, and for traumas to happen. If you've already mastered that, then what you haven't mastered is abundance. What you haven't mastered is that relationship that you know to be true. What you haven't mastered is peace and calm and happiness and joy. That's what you haven't mastered. And if you haven't mastered that, then call that in so you can master it. Because the only way you're going to master it is the way that you mastered the other. And that means that you have to go through it. You have to have abundance to be able to master it. You have to have peace to be able to master it. You have to have calm. You have to have happiness. You have to have joy. And that takes practice, just like the other took practice, right? So call that into you. That makes sense, Scorpio? That's a little bit of a bigger picture to understand. But call that to you. There's nothing that says you can't have that. You're the only one keeping yourself from that. Nobody else is. You. Only you. But when you're ready, call that in. It's yours. This universe is abundant. Abundant. It's unlimited. We have unlimited source energy. All we have to do is line up with it. That's all we have to do. Okay? So, sorry about that long speech. Spirit has something to say. Okay, so I love you, though. I love you dearly. I know. Trust me, I know. All right. So on the 11th, you're going to have Saturn squared Pluto. So Saturn squared Pluto. Um, Saturn squared Pluto is in your third house. Right? I'm sorry, did I say Saturn? I was like, why is it squared here? Sorry. So the Sun squared Pluto is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I must have done this late when I wrote these notes because that's not the 10th house, that's the 6th house. So sorry about that. So the Sun squared Pluto. Pluto wants to transform. The Sun wants to bring light to this 6th house. So you could again have work. Maybe you get the new position. Maybe something. Maybe like, remember, this is your voice. Maybe you went and asked for that raise. Maybe you went and said, look, this is what I do and this is blah, blah, blah. And so I need this raise. And maybe you get this raise on this, this day. So this could be happening on the 11th. I mean, that's just one scenario. So I'm not going to go over every day, but the 14th, we still have that Jupiter and Pluto sextiling. That to me means opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. So there's some opportunity coming. Every time you speak your voice, every time you put your boundary, every time you let go, you're going to be reaping the benefits. Things are going to be continuing to come in for you, Scorpio. If they haven't, then you haven't let go of some things. Okay? Because there's some of you, they're like, I thought I was doing the work, but it's not coming in. No, it's coming in, or it's trying to come in. You just haven't let go of some things you need to let go of so that it can come in. Right? So on the 15th, Mercury goes direct. And then on the 17th, we have this new moon in Aries. And again, this is in your 5th house of creativity, love affairs. I kind of feel like some of you are going to meet some people because that seems to be like lit up in your houses where somebody new comes in, somebody very nice comes in, somebody understands boundaries that won't try to cross them, somebody understands how not to take advantage of someone because maybe they've been taken advantage of, but they still keep their heart open like you. So I could see that happening. So like the 17th through the 22nd, this is when Saturn retrogrades till September 6th. Chiron enters Aries for 7.5 years. Uranus goes exact with the Sun. So something very poignant is going to come about for that, okay? And that's in your 5th house. That's in your 5th house of creativity. This could be your project. This could be something that you've grown from the love that you have in your heart. Like a project, like a dream, like something from your heart. This could be a relationship coming. Again, I keep seeing relationships. Okay, so you could get a new job, a new career, a new move. Whatever this is, it's clarity with shock and awe, okay? And it changes your view. And for some of you, it gives you hope in humanity again. That's what Spirit just said. For some of you, it gives you hope in humanity again. Okay? So on the 22nd, that's when Saturn conjuncts Pluto, but Pluto goes retrograde. So they're really going to be talking here in this 3rd house. So let me say this. What you're saying, be sure it's what you're wanting to say. Like you have to work at this because it's Saturn and Pluto. And things are going to happen. You're gonna, so let me just say this. Pluto transforms. Pluto transforms. When he's in a house, he transforms you. Okay? So there is something about the way that you're communicating, how you're communicating, when you're communicating, that you're needing to understand about your path. And Pluto is going to transform it, and Saturn's going to make you work hard for it, but Mars is going to give you the energy, and Capricorn is going to be very methodical and help you get through this. So on the 24th, that's when Venus enters Gemini, and that'll be in your 7th house. I'm sorry, Gemini in your 8th house. Sorry. Let me make sure because I think I did this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it'll be in your 8th house. So Venus is going to be in your 8th house. So in your 8th house, Venus is going to be with Gemini. So the 8th house is about transformation and taking your power back. This is about other people's money and how maybe some people owed you money. Maybe some people owed, maybe an inheritance comes in, maybe something like that, because Venus has to do with money. Venus has to do with beauty. Venus has to do with love. And the seventh house has to do with other people's money and transformation. So some of you could be getting that with you working in Jupiter. Remember, Jupiter wants to bless you. Jupiter wants to bless you when you learn, when you understand, because he's a teacher. Okay? So, one last thing before I go over the tarot. On the 29th, that's when we have this powerful, powerful day. This is when the new moon goes into your house, or sorry, the full moon. So the full moon goes into your house on this day, on the 29th. So you have lots of things going on. This is going to be a very powerful and intense day. This is going to be emotionally connecting to what you know to be true, and this is going to be letting go of some things that no longer serve you. This is what this is about for you, okay? But it's a powerful, intense day. And on that same day, you still have Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to be conjunct. Jupiter is going to be talking to the moon and saying, he has been, or she has been working on her identity, and she's getting to understand what she wants. And the moon is like, well, let's give them some gifts. Let's give them some stuff. The sun is going to be trining Saturn. So all of this has to do with these three houses on that full moon. You could be having some things like a couple of days before and a couple of days after that come through. Like your life is transforming, your life is changing, things are happening. And I'm not just talking about emotionally, which you're okay with. I'm talking about physically, things are going to be happening. Things are going to be coming in. People are going to be coming in. And so you also have Neptune trining your full moon. Again, Neptune wants to expand. Neptune wants to help you dissolve and become bigger, and and so with this trine and the full moon, so with the full moon in your identity and Neptune working in your fourth house or fifth house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, your fifth house, this could be something that you've been trying to create, trying to understand what is it that you're wanting. So with a trine, that means opportunity to me. So as you're releasing things that no longer serve you, you have opportunity coming in to make things bigger for you, to make things happen for you. And then on the 30th, you have Neptune sextiling the sun. So when Neptune sextiles the sun, whatever it is that you're really working on, it's going to beautify it. It's going to make it happen. It's going to bring light to it. It's going to bring epiphany to it, right? And so these are opportunities as well coming to you. So you guys have a great month. I feel a lot of you are just in that sort of rut of things always happen, and I don't want to allow myself to have it, because what if it's taken away, and I'd rather not get my heart broken. Like, you just need to change your perspective, because you have things that want to come in. You have situations, you have people, you have money, you have relationships that want to come in, but it's time to let go of what no longer serves you. It really is. And you don't do it because, like, when I say this, don't say, well, I gotta let go, I gotta let go, I gotta let go, because I want that stuff to come in. Spirit wants you to let go when you are absolutely ready to let go. And so if you don't understand yet why that thing came into your life, why that trauma happened, then don't let go of it. But look at it so that you can see and that you can understand, so that you can let go when it's time. Okay? All right, my gorgeous ones. So I have this new deck for you guys that I bought. I wanted to show all the tarot readers that I still love tarot. I do love tarot. I just don't think it's the only thing. So I bought this new deck from my favorite illustrator artist, Ciro Merchetti. So I bought the Grand Deluxe, and I have the little bit different spread. I also have the cloth. So I thought I'd show you guys some love and put it on camera, and I'll be working with this deck for a while. So I did a little bit different spread. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Sorry. So that you can actually see what's going on. All right. So this is your present position. This is your challenge. This is Spirit's advice too. And this is the faded stuff coming in. This is, whether you believe or not, is coming. And this is your outcome for the month, okay? So in your present position, it looks like in April, you're going to be balancing. But I see more than just the balancing. I see that, you know, if you've been pulling back and if you haven't been giving a lot and if you've been giving more to yourself, then maybe it's time to engage more. But if you have been giving too much and it's time for you to pull, you know, it's time for you to learn your boundaries, then this is about you pulling back. This is about turning your attention to you and loving you. See how these beautiful coins, I'll try to put it here. See these beautiful coins? This is all about balancing you. This is all about understanding. And what's really interesting in these cards that I'm seeing, you see that it's got two suns. So it's not like you're giving because you don't, you know, because you feel like you have to. You're giving because, or you're engaging, or you're giving because you really want to. It's coming, you know, from your heart. And or if you're taking and not giving and looking at yourself only, like both sides have the sun, which means emotionally and in clarity, you do want to do this. You just get sidetracked because you'll do it too much and then you'll forget about yourself, or you'll do yourself too much and forget about others, right? And so this is about the balance in that. So they're both right. They both come from love, but there's a way to do it where it's balanced, okay? If there's a relationship that you're involved in, it could be that you're giving too much. Like they're draining you. It's time to let that go. Or maybe there's a relationship and you're still not trusting, but they're giving you everything and you're not giving anything. And you're just kind of testing and waiting to see. I mean, maybe you need to give them some too, right? I mean, relationship is symbiotic. A relationship is about giving and taking, right? It's like this dance. So that's your present position, and this is your challenge. So your challenge is the Chariot. Aren't these cards beautiful? Let me know if you guys have these cards, or if you got these cards, or if you know about these cards. Let me know in the link down below. So this is the Chariot. This is your challenge. Your challenge is, I'm gonna put this right here. So your challenge is, my beautiful Scorpios, I'm feeling your challenge. So the challenge is that you know what to do in some situations, but you're not doing it because you don't want to hurt somebody, because you don't think you're worthy, because things always happen. Like there are some things that you really need to take precedence, and you really need to make a decision about, and you really need to go with that decision. And I'm not talking about the surface, the career, the blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about this deeper stuff where maybe you're just giving too much to somebody, or maybe you're not giving it all to somebody, or maybe you're not giving somebody a chance, or maybe you're just sort of waiting for somebody to do something before you make the decision, because in the past they've always, you know, people have always let you down, so you're just kind of waiting, right? And so that's what the Chariot is about. The Chariot is about like taking the action, making the decisions, and being a leader in your own life, creating your world the way that you want it. That's your challenge. For so long, Scorpios, you've had to react to the world, right? You've had to react. You've had to keep yourself protected. You've had to try to understand people from the other side, you know, of what they're really doing and how humans really are. And, you know, for so long that you've done that you've forgotten how to lead in your own world and understand your power in your own world and understand that you are creating your world. And if you don't want somebody in there that is treating you a certain way, then get them the hell out. Sorry for the cussing, right? And listen, you're not gonna devastate them to the point that you've done something so bad to them. Like this is part of their growth too, and you're hindering their growth by not allowing them and letting them go. Okay, so this is your challenge this month, is really letting go and really taking charge and really saying this is what I want and really claiming it. So in your fourth position, this is about the faded stuff that's coming, the stuff that's coming, whether you believe it or not. This is on your path, right? And so you have this Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is taking stand for who you are and what you want in life. That's what the Six of Wands is about. Taking the action, being direct. And that's what's coming to you. That's that feeling that you guys are feeling. It's the reason that you guys are like, I always think of you as the rising phoenix, right? You go in, you transform, you come out. And that's the reason for your going in and transforming, because you're going to come out with this understanding of all of your, see this, understanding all of your experiences, taking action, being directed, being at the top, knowing that this is really your world and you can have everything. You can have what you want. You can, you really can. And so this is that feeling, this is that thing. And I'm not talking about just emotionally, I'm talking about things are going to come to pass this month as you let go, to help you understand that you do have power. That's what's going to happen, okay? And that's your fated stuff. Now, your outcome, this is what you're trying to do. This is, look at this beautiful queen. Beautiful Queen of Cups. She's you, he's you. To me, it's not gender specific. It's about the character. It's about this person or this queen or this king understanding that even though I'm intuitive and even though I'm deep and even though I can see what other people want, I can still see and feel what I want. And I like who I am. And if I want something luxurious, then that's what I have. And if I want a deep relationship, then that's what I have, without losing myself completely. There is a way for me, and this is the Queen and the King, there's a way for them to have a relationship and still be intuitive and still be in tune with their partner and not give up everything, right? Still having their identity as well as melding with the other person. That's what you're coming to. That's what you're trying to understand. That's for some of you. For others of you, this is this person coming in who is ready, who is understanding of boundaries, who is ready for a relationship, who's not afraid to go deep diving with you. I mean, they're not afraid. They're not. So this person could be coming in for you, but a lot of you don't want this person to come in until you've done these. And that's why that person hasn't come in. But I can see that person coming in. I can see them coming in as you let go of stuff. All right, my gorgeous ones. So have a wonderful, wonderful month. Thank you again for being so patient. I will be trying to get out the other videos, and hopefully I can go live today, if not tomorrow. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. That way, and click that bell so you know when I'm going live. And also, I'll have the videos that I talked about in the link, with the link down in the description box below. Don't forget, if you want to see me, you're welcome to go to yourindigopath2.com. We have our store coming up where I'm going to be releasing my shirts and my caps and stuff this week sometime, hopefully. So I love you, love you, love you. Bye.